So, in conclusion, we feel that this is going to boost our productivity, increase the office culture, and it's going to open us up to way more markets where we can advertise in. Which is why
we need a PS5.
Hey, how'd you go?
No, she said no.
Oh, fuck.
Hello team, Robbie here from Axon Property Group. Have you having a fantastic day? Welcome back to Axon's Morning Brief. Hey, I tell you what, we've got a fantastic guest who's just about to join us. Phil, who's one of our tactical partners, ex-Army helicopter from Astute Realty, my man. We've done a podcast before, but now I want to, jump in here and talk about all things real estate. So I really can't wait for that to crack on soon. Now, ladies and gents, full disclosure, we filmed these segments out of order. I saw what happened. So first and foremost, I need you to stay around to the end of this. I saw what happened with this segment called Can We Crack Damo Up? And first and foremost, whilst Damo can be a bit dry, he's a very, very funny man behind the camera. And most importantly, you're going to see something that Angie does on film that she's never done before. I just said to Phil, then he goes, I want to stay around and see what that, what that looks like. So it's definitely going to be worth hanging around for. Hope you're really enjoying the morning brief. We'll catch up with you real soon.
Damo, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be here again.
Yeah. Now, we're going to bring through some of the team members, and one by one, they're each going to try to crack you. Okay? Now, I want you to try as hard as you can. All right?
Not be cracked.
Not be cracked.
Don't be Humpty Dumpty.
No.
Go for it.
A lot of pressure to make you laugh.
Yeah, it is. Good morning.
Morning. So I started my new job the other day and I asked the client, would you prefer smoking or non-smoking? Apparently the right question was cremated or burial. Did I get it right?
That's pretty good. No, I've not heard that one before.
Hey Damo,
Hey Ange.
what's the difference between Liverpool and a cup of tea?
Don't know.
The tea stays in the cup longer.
True, but not too funny.
What do you call a Liverpool fan that does well on an IQ test?
Don't know.
A cheat.
I feel targeted.
I set my Xbox password to Liverpool's defence. It said my password was too weak.
Do you want me to do that? Okay. Sure. You're supposed to make you laugh or me laugh?
I'll see myself out.
I hate this challenge. How the heck are we supposed to make this man laugh and still be HR compliant? Maybe except tickle, tickle, tickle.
Clearly not ticklish.
That's okay. Well, Damo is so athletic. I think he's the only reason that sporting industry is staying alive. Meanwhile, I'm over here just trying to reach a cupboard without a ladder. What else have we got?
Something funnier, hopefully.
Yes, she's laughing.
At my joke.
Yes. I love hanging out with you, Damo. Inside, outside work. Always so professional at work, looks after our clients. Outside work, you look like you're about to play baseball at any moment.
I'm ready to go.
Or is it just trying to get to second base that you're trying to do? Maybe behind the convention centre. How is a bad player like a blanket?
Don't know. How is a bad player like a blanket, Cal?
They both make great bench warmers.
Next. Good, mate. How are you?
I'm good.
Have you come in here to apologise?
For what?
It's just what Canadians do, isn't it?
Sorry, I'm
Rookie.
professional.
Rookie.
Actually, do have to take this. Sorry, one sec. Hello? I'm at work. It's a very bad time. You can't say that. I'm at work. That's actually so naughty. You cannot say that. I'll see you tonight, okay? Yeah, okay. I can get him for you if you want. Yeah, he's here. Okay, it's your mom.
Hey, Mum.
Sorry. Got a little something there, maybe.
Got a smile.
Yeah, I got a smile. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Oh no! Oh my god!
I think it's funnier that I didn't laugh at it.
That's dedication.
All right, fellas, let's get back into it. Phil, you and I have been working together now for a couple of years.
A couple?
Yeah. And I guess predominantly we use Astute Realty for the property management phase of it all.
Yep.
And as all of you know, we are a buy and hold real estate property investing strategy and philosophy. You agree with that, right?
Absolutely. I would certainly back that up. But as you've said, circumstances change for certain people.
Yeah, so I mean, there may be, as your life evolves, we're like, all right, we need to get ourselves out of a pickle. We need to fix a certain problem in our life, go on a different tact, pivot to another, area of activity, whatever it's going to be. So selling a piece of real estate that you own can be a very natural place. So of course, enter real estate agent. Let's effectively just have a bit of a chat now about what is the role of a real estate agent. So just maybe even just chronologically. Well, like, hey, Phil, Sam wants to sell his investment properties, had a change of circumstances. Here's his contact details. What happens then?
What happens? Yeah, absolutely. So the very first thing for us is obviously to contact the owner and build a rapport and relationship with them. So understand what their personal circumstances are. Some will have a time basis in terms of a sale. Could be due to divorce. Could be anything else. And others will have a price thing. So time's not as important, but price is really important.
And
so
we've got a whole section on price coming up in a minute.
Absolutely.
So that's. I mean, look, what's the bottom line up front? Well, you're there too.
We want to get the best price. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
But we don't want to do it at the cost of other things if that client's got the specifics. But ultimately, the agent, our role is to get you the best price for your asset in the market at the time.
Yeah.
I guess the background mechanics of that is, essentially walking them through how that's going to work from marketing. So marketing is pretty stock standard. We get photos and we go on realestate.com, which is probably the most powerful, way to actually advertise. But then from there, it gets a little bit grayer in terms of, okay, what's our strategy? How are we going to send this to market? Are we going to go to auction? Are we going to do a private treaty? Are we going to do best and final offers? So best and final offers mean no one knows what everyone else is bidding, whereas an auction, it's very open. So there's cunning ways, and it really depends on the location of the property, i.e., are we in just the suburbs? Are we close to lifestyle assets, schools, whatever? And then what else is on the market at the time and how the market's behaving. So there's no real direct answer on that other than the individual, their circumstances and dealing with it at the time. And I suppose that's the role of us as an agent, is to get the best strategy to present your property in the best light we can to get you the top dollar.
Yeah, I love that. And, good news is, mate, is that Axon properties are not in the middle of nowhere. They're close to infrastructure.
They're great spots.
They're close. You've had some fantastic results, literally again, as per today. Another
Absolutely.
property went under the hammer, got signed contracts. Was it 20, 30 grand above asking price?
Yep, 30 grand above. I think it was first open home. In fact, no, this one didn't even go to an open home. The
Right.
open home was a Saturday. We had so many people interested. We actually opened it on the Wednesday prior.
Yeah.
And we never went to open home.
One really important factor, and it's something that we will speak about down the track as well, is that if you're selling your own home, obviously you're living in it and then you're moving away from somewhere, but what if you're selling an investment property and what if it's got tenants in it, yes or no? So I know that's really, really important for anyone selling an investment property. You must be made aware of what the circumstances are of that other human that's living in your house paying the mortgage for you.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
What's probably the key function that you do up front there to looking at other properties on the market? What's that document that you provide everyone?
Oh, so we do what's called a CMA, or a comparative market analysis. What that really involves is us looking at what's sold in the last 6 months in your sort of area and your price point and your, whether it's 3-bed, 2-bed, 4-bed. And then we also then have a look. I will look at also what's on the market right now in the area, and then we put that all into a report so that you can see it. So we're trying to sort of, I guess, educate the seller as well as to where we think, because the last thing I want is a seller to go and spend, $4,000 or $5,000 in marketing to sell a property in the aim of getting $900,000 because that's what they were promised, and in reality, it's only worth $850.
I was going to say, some people are like, this is what I need, but what the seller needs and what the market will provide them are not the same as well. Can you comment on that?
Absolutely. And as Robbie's just pointed out, we get a lot of clients that say, yeah, but I need. And I go, I know that. That's obviously a calculation that you need, but the market doesn't know you need. The market will only pay what it's valued at. So our job, I guess, is to ensure that you're going to market with a realistic price point. Ultimately, we want to get as high as we can, but we just want to know you're starting from a good place.
Yeah, nice. And you sort of said before about we can go to auction, we can go to private treaty, we can go to best and final offers, and you can see up on the screen now. Let's talk about price. So, yeah, what do you feel in this current market? So you're predominantly based here in Southeast Queensland, or you're only based in Southeast Queensland. Market's strong here at the moment, hey? Across all areas.
It is. The only
so
area
demand is high?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that the property we were talking about was actually based on the Sunshine Coast before, and
Sure.
We're getting 15 to 20 at an open sort of thing. So there's a lot of demand there. But even in the other areas that are, we'd say are slightly softer, we're still selling them within probably 2 to 3 weeks. So
Wow.
It's pretty strong. And the key is probably pricing in a realistic price point. Like if we know that property is worth around the $850 mark and we go listed for offers over $950, no one's going to rock up to the open.
No.
So quite often, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So we say to someone, let's list at offers over $800. I know you want $850 and we know it's worth that. Let's start there and get 20 groups through and let's get some momentum. And that tends to be a really good strategy because ultimately then people feel like they're going to miss out. And dive in. In
my experience, whether you're selling houses or selling a bloody jet ski on marketplace, whatever it'll be, you need to put yourself in the buyer's shoes because they're not idiots. They've got access to the same information.
Absolutely.
They're doing their own comparisons. And everyone's, it's funny, the buyer's trying to get a bargain. You're trying to sell it for the most amount. They're working in opposite directions. What's your job as the agent? You're the person in the middle, basically bringing everyone together to make sure there's a fair and reasonable outcome.
Absolutely.
And you've got to communicate with both parties, right?
Absolutely. And as you just pointed out, the buyers are way more educated than they were, say, 20, 30 years ago, where all this data wasn't available and we could probably use a little bit of smoke and mirrors to get a little bit more out of them. Those days are kind of gone. Most buyers, as you know, even the sellers, you ask them, what's your property worth? They pretty much know already. They've seen on realestate.com. They know where it sits. So yeah, that's our role is to try and bridge the gap a bit, but get the most we can for that seller.
No worries. Let's last topic now. Talk about I would say the 550 plus properties we've got sitting on the market, completed. 90% of them would be investment properties. Therefore, there's tenants in place.
Yep.
I guess here's my bottom line up front to you is that don't sign a 12-month lease with your new or current tenants and then wake up 6 weeks later and go, I think I might sell this property now. You've got to be smarter about that. When the penny drops, what Phil's about to pass on to you here now as far as what are the implications of trying to sell an investment property with a long lease in place. You just need to be made aware of it, so therefore your expectations are being managed. So let's talk about that scenario first.
Yeah.
There's
absolutely.
at least a 10-month lease in place, and the buyer's like, I need to get rid of this property, Phil. Help me.
Yeah. So, and just stepping slightly back from that, the first point is that your agent that's managing your property, whether it's us or one of the other wonderful agencies here on the coast, they will normally send you out notice 3 months prior to the end of the lease And the whole purpose of that is to have that thought process then about what you want to do. Don't then, as Robbie just said, sign it and 6 weeks later come in to want to have to sell. If you're unsure in that process, sign a shorter lease. Do a 6 months term with them. Don't sign up to 12 months. Gives you some flexibility.
Pro tip number 1. I love that. Yes.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. The scenario is we've got 10 months left on our lease.
So 10 months.
I need it sold ASAP.
Yep.
Phil, how can you help me?
So best case scenario, we rock up to do an inspection. So normally when someone's engaged to sell, the first thing we'll do is we'll go on site and have a look at how the tenant presents it. I'm going to say about 50% of the cases, pretty good. Tenants are present it well, the house is fine, we'll be able to get people through and be able to sell it for pretty top dollar. In some cases, which we've had a very bad one of, there is so much stuff in the house that we can't see the kitchen, we can't see the floor. And it makes it near impossible for somebody wanting to buy to understand what they're actually purchasing.
Can I just jump in? It's a real pull on your heartstrings. You have poured your heart and soul into saving enough money and the excitement that goes with building a brand new house. You see the professional photos, everything's pristine. You're so fucking happy and proud of yourself. And then you lose total control because it's not illegal for a tenant to be untidy. It's not illegal for a tenant to have shit everywhere, if I can just couch it that way. It's not, so it's a real tricky space, and you do property management as well as sales as far as giving the tenants the feedback as far as how they should live in their house.
We've got to be really careful. Under legislation, you can't dictate how somebody lives. We can breach them for damages. So if there was underlying damage that we could spot, absolutely we can start that process. But we've got to be very careful because the courts are really protective of tenants. So the key is don't sign a long lease.
Yeah.
But if you have got one in there, there are ways of negotiating with the tenant. Some tenants are open to it. We've just had one successful one where we've managed to, it's going to cost us a couple of months. No, they weren't at first, but it's taken us a couple of months. It's going to cost a bit of money, but we're going to all sort of sort it out and get them out.
Yeah. And the reason why, if we just use that as a bit of a case study, when your offsider was trying to organise open homes because the state of the property, even though it's a pristine property, it's literally across the road from one street back from a school in probably one of the best suburbs in the whole country, and it's gone up in value by 400 grand. We're 50, 60, 70, 80 grand off the mark of what it could be worth purely based on its condition, right?
Absolutely. And
the owner
we can't even get anyone in.
Yeah.
People rock up to the front door and just walk away. It's terrible. So we've got a good result there, but the better result is to not be in a position where the tenant has the ultimate power. And once the tenant signs a lease, we cannot actually kick them out. We have to negotiate with them, so they ultimately hold the power there.
Yeah. It's just really, really important that even if your selling agent is not your property manager day to day, week to week, you do make sure that you are providing some guidance to them. And if your tenant is not towing the line, so what about? Let's just talk quickly at the end of the lease. You're not looking at selling. If the tenant's been super messy and untidy and there's crap everywhere, you don't have to renew that lease then, do you? At the 12-month mark.
Yeah, so the reason we don't have periodic leases anymore at all is because you can't kick a tenant out on a periodic lease other than 5 reasons, and it's for sale. It's some very specific reasons. The reason we hold leases in place is at the end of the lease, you don't need any grounds, you just don't renew.
Yeah.
So absolutely, at the end of that, we could just say, no, you're not being offered a renewal. See you later, we can get another tenant in. So let's
go to the other end of the spectrum, that there's no tenant in place, and now you go to sale. What's the pros and cons there?
So we've started obviously probably with the worst scenario. Probably completely vacant is the second best scenario, and then we'll finally talk about the third one, which is...
And actually, let's just go back to the first one quickly. With a tenant in place and 10 months to go, even if they're keeping the property quite tidy, it rules out owner-occupiers being buyers.
It does, yeah, absolutely.
No occupier is going to want to wait 10 months.
No, some will, but it's very rare. A lot of them will want to be moving in within 6 to 8 weeks. And if that doesn't happen, they just cross it off their list and they move to the next open home.
And of course, as a seller, you want people to buy with their heart, because they're going to pay more.
Absolutely.
If you can't have owner occupiers that fall in love with your house and therefore they're willing to pay 20, 30, 40 grand more, then you're just not opening, you'll cut yourself off to that really important element of the market.
And it's
becomes everything.
And it's not only cutting yourself off, it's the numbers. So if it's 50%, we had 20 in an open, we've now only got 10. So it's even just the numbers game of having more people interested. But
so now we've got no tenant in place.
Yeah, no tenant in place. So probably massive advantage there is that we can get stock photos done. We can get furniture put in place on these photos, make it look spectacular. It'll present well. We can recommend to the owner whether it needs touch-up painting, some landscaping, spend a few $100 here and there and really tidy it up. So from that point of view, from a selling and a selfish point of view from us, it's perfect. We love it. But from a client point of view, which is what we're all about as well, the same as you guys here at Axon, it's not the best from a cash flow point of view because obviously there's a period now the tenant's moved out. You may have 4, 6, 8 weeks where the property is actually vacant, and that hurts cash flow. So some people are lucky enough to be in a position where that's fine. Some others aren't, where the cash flow is important to them. So they're probably the main positives and negatives and differences in it. But the big advantage for us is that, yes, empty house, owner-occupiers, investors, no matter what, full market, we can do the best run at it to get the best price.
Yeah, she's open slather, mate.
Yep.
No holds barred there. You've got the whole market looking at your house for that. So, yeah.
Yep.
There's a little space in between, of course. What if there's a lease, maybe one or 2 months left on the lease, so it's ending soon,
Yep.
but it's not quite there yet? Give us your take on that.
So I think that's probably the number one scenario if you were to do it. So when we send out for those that are managed, with Astute or with one of the other, wonderful agencies around the coast, when you get your 3-month notification that your lease is ending in 3 months' time, what do you want to do? That's the time to have a think about the sale. And if you then think, okay, I do want to sell, that's the perfect time to start engaging with, whether it's us about the sale and listing process. Because with 8 weeks to go, what we can do is we attract owner-occupiers and investors, so we're ticking that box. As long as it's presented well, the only negative would be is if the tenant presents it really poorly. If they do, we only have to wait 8 weeks and they're out anyway. But if they present it well, you're then getting cash flow and income coming in as we're running open homes and as we're presenting it for sale. So, So hopefully in terms of dollars for your clients and maximising their return, that is probably the number one way to go if it presents well and the tenant looks after it.
So good, mate. Thanks so much for everything. There you go, ladies and gents. If you do find yourselves in a situation where you do need to sell your property because your life's evolved and there's a bunch of people that are now sort of doing these little mini restructures to buy their own home or whatever it is, they've made 2, 3, 4, 500 grand with their 2, 3, 4 properties with us. I'm like, fucking awesome. That's why you bought it in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is to be able to do that. So at least now, hopefully you guys are all feeling a little bit more confident about the reason why you need to engage an agent, what mechanical steps take place, the importance of making sure that you do have a vision and try to foresee some of those key events so you're not left holding the baby in the bathwater, or you're not sitting there with a property which is completely empty as well, but burning cash flow, or somewhere in between. Phil,
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for joining us, mate.
Pleasure, mate.
Hope you enjoyed
Anytime.
that, ladies and gents.
Here we go.
Welcome back,
Thank
James, our reigning champion.
Ready, champ.
For now.
We have a new challenger for you.
All right.
Okay.
right.
How you feeling? Are you brushed up? Did you watch Step Brothers last night, James?
What else is there to watch?
You can watch other things.
A great answer. A great answer from a confident champion.
Yeah,
Step Brothers
absolutely.
2. Is there one
Step
of
Brothers
those?
too.
Have they done that?
I don't think they have.
They absolutely
I don't think
haven't.
All
They
right,
have not.
so James, you are sticking with your topic of Step Brothers.
That's
Yes.
actually his specialist category.
That is his specialist
Finding
category.
that out for
And
shit.
Ryan, you have brought
Fucking there we go.
Metallica.
Oh, I might be all right. I might survive this one.
Okay, all right.
What's
so
the boat thing in the middle?
Boats and
boats and hose.
garden hose.
I'm going to be terrible at this quiz because I found that, didn't I?
Boats and hose.
First joke clean over his head.
Yeah, there we go. Just get out now.
Okay,
myself
so
out.
we have our English adjudicator standing by.
Okay.
He's trustworthy because he's English.
Yeah, he is. He's on my team this week, the goats.
The Royals
The
are
boss is not
trustworthy.
around, so
Dinian, when as soon as you think you know the answer,
This is a stitch up.
if you get it wrong, then your opponent will have a chance to answer.
Okay.
Cool.
We have a category called Shot in the Dark, Ryan, which will be a question that you will both get to answer, though you can still ring in to answer first. Whoever is closest wins.
All right.
The Shot in the Dark question.
Shot in the dark.
All right. First question.
general knowledge. You never explain
Wait
these
till
rules.
you read the question out, please, mate. What is the largest ocean on Earth?
Pacific.
Specific.
Specifically the Pacific.
1 point to James.
So a ding now.
Step Brothers. What is the name of the company that Brennan and Dale try to start together? Oh,
Fuck.
Ryan.
Did that even
Something worldwide. Prestige worldwide.
Fuck. Prestige.
Worldwide, wide. Why wasn't I quick
Well
enough on that
done.
one?
Taking one of the specialist points away from James early.
Ah, wow, that's not a good start, is it? He's got me wobbled now. Step Brothers again. Time to redeem myself. Is there
What
even
reason
any...
did Brennan give Dale for why he was...
He's watching Cops. But he wasn't, because I know the Cops doesn't start till 4. General knowledge. No, another Step Brothers.
Step Brothers again.
You're getting railed this time, mate.
fucking
Sorry about
hell,
this.
This is rigged.
What does Brennan's dad, Robert, reveal he always wanted to be?
A dinosaur. T-Rex.
T-Rex.
T-Rex more specifically.
We are going to accept both answers.
Because they're both on the screen. Come on, give him a Metallica one. Let's make it a bit...
Nah, mate, it's all good. It's the power of the
there you
wheel.
go. I'm controlling the wheel, don't you know? That's what I'm saying.
Metallica, here we go. What was the first full-length studio album Metallica released?
Kill them all.
I'm so glad you got that one.
Yeah, good. General knowledge.
Which is the smallest country in the world?
Shit.
Ryan.
Vatican.
Woo!
I'm back.
What's the score on
Okay.
that one now? Are we
Last one.
3-3.
Are you keeping it in your head?
Whoa, that's a bit of a worry. Split second, I could have got the Vatican. Shot in the dark. Here we go. This is it. Oh,
So we all get to
You
Okay,
guys
you
sweaty?
both get to answer. You can still ring in to answer first. How long is the Nile River?
I just have to beat you to it, to be honest. I know that you don't know. I don't know that. I'm going to say 9 miles. It's a lot longer than that.
9 miles. The fucking longest river in the world. It's 9 miles. Is it the longest?
It's not Tally Creek, mate.
I just thought the Nile is 9 miles. It's just,
Actually, now I'm saying I think Tally
makes
Creek's
sense.
longer.
Twin River's longer than that.
Go on,
Mate,
over to you.
I'm going to times that by 10. Shot in the duck for sure. I'm going to say.
Oh, I can't
do you want
be
it
the
in miles or
closest.
kilometres?
Kilometres.
Why in kilometres?
Might get closer. 250?
Just like our baguettes, we need to aim a little higher.
It's right up there.
All right, that means we have a new
Oh,
champion.
no.
That means that
And
we will be seeing Ryan
I lost to a
next
Step
week
Brothers
back in here.
speciality one.
How did I win that?
I don't know. I was absolutely right. Are you sure? Can we get a replay?
I blacked out for a second there. How did I win?
Okay.
Right on, mate.
Last week, you almost got fired by Tammy, and this week,
This week,
You'll be-
I'll lose my job and my wife.
We were just saying welcome to the show, Caitlin. This is the first time you've been on the morning brief, apart from your brief appearance in the little the opening of episode 1.
Are you used to being on camera?
am I used to being on camera?
So we've brought you. We've got you both in here today because we want to talk about your best and worst postings that you both had during James's military career.
Well,
Our military career.
I can end this right now. All of Caitlin's are the best because they were with me.
Oh God! Fucking jog on, mate. Jog on.
That's what you did. You followed me.
Oh God.
So how many postings did you have?
4.
4?
We lived in 4 different locations.
4 for Caitlin. Yeah.
4 different locations.
I've lived in another 3.
Yes.
So yeah, 4 for Caitlin, 7 for me.
And they were?
Where were they?
I've posted to Melbourne and Sydney, Adelaide, Townsville,
Twice.
Darwin, twice for Darwin.
Brisbane.
Yeah, in Brisbane.
Yeah, and where
It's more than 7.
you learned
Whatever.
you learned
I
to
don't know
count
how
in
to
the
count.
ADF, right?
yeah.
1, 2, 3.
So what was your favourite?
1, 2, 3.
Darwin.
There we go.
100%.
Yeah, at least we're unanimous for that one.
Where's your
Why?
Where's your crop?
Why?
You're not even showing yours, Caitlin. You're showing the wrong arm.
She's looking at a thing on the back here. Why? There's just so much to do.
So much to do.
It is. We love getting out. We love exploring. We love camping. We love just getting out and about and getting the kids out. We don't like to stay inside. So Darwin was a perfect opportunity for it. Admittedly, we went there kicking and screaming.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you were literally
I was
bawling your
crying.
eyes out. The
Bawling.
photo, actually, funny story. When we were Caitlin was 7 months pregnant when we posted to Darwin, and when we got there, we went and visited the hospital, and the public hospital was under renovations at the time, so it was absolute.
Oh, it was
was
horrible.
horrible.
I remember it now, and I'm just like, I
And
remember
so
crying.
she had an appointment with the obstetrician, and then we had to go get a driver's license changed over. And that afternoon, the photo of her driver's license was literally like all red, puffy
just
eyes,
tears.
bawling her eyes out. And that was her Darwin photo for a driver's license. It was a great start to the trip. So we hated it for a while until we met a few great people.
I think that what made the Darwin posting amazing was the community that like Darwin had. Like I didn't feel that same community in the other posting locations. The unit up there, just the people that we met, the people you worked with, it was amazing.
I think from a military postings point of view, like no one wants to post there.
No one wants to.
But when you go there, it's like you've just got to make the most of
Yeah.
like every situation.
Yeah.
And it's like if you see the negatives, you're always going to be negative.
Yeah. Your time there is going to be just horrendous if you just go, oh, this is negative and this is shit and there's red dust everywhere.
Which is what you did from the start.
From the start, but then it got better because we, you got back in contact with people that you met once or twice or whatever you did with them.
All right, second preference.
Speaking of horrendous,
Speaking of horrendous,
what was your worst?
Townsville.
You reckon?
I didn't like Townsville.
Okay, yours
It's
was
just,
Townsville.
There was nothing. There was just you and I and like there's just nothing. There was no community. There was no like.
I disagree.
Yeah, I didn't like Townsville.
But we got out and about.
We did.
Look,
got out
again,
and
we
about.
travelled. We went
Yep.
to Cairns.
Yeah.
The
We've done all the
the Waterman Falls, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So for the same reason. But me personally, from a posting point of view, I didn't like Sydney. I don't like Sydney now. I never didn't like it then. We went to Sydney the other week and saw Luke Combs, and
went
I
to
still
Sydney.
hated Sydney.
Yeah,
It's
I went
just-
to Sydney
I don't
for
like
the
big
first
cities.
time. Yeah, a few weeks ago with James, and it smells. I don't understand the roads.
They're the same.
No, they're not.
Everywhere.
No,
They're just
it's
more
like
people.
it's Italy over there.
Have you been
with
to Italy?
No,
Oh,
but I
okay.
can imagine the roads are fucked over there too.
She's watched the Italian Job, so therefore she knows.
What's that chef that I like? Gino De Campo.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that it? Yeah, I watched him.
Oh, okay. So you know the roads in Italy because you watched Gino. Got it. Good
Have you
one.
been to Italy? No. I watched Gino De Campo.
Hey, if you guys are really enjoying the whole Axon Morning Show, I'd love you to be able to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all those things. In fact, the segment with Damo that you've just watched came from someone dropped the comment. They're like, hey, I wonder if you can crack Damo one day. And now you guys know exactly what sort of happened there. So, yeah, hope you're enjoying it. See you again soon.